Hey everybody, welcome back to Black Cat Forge. I'm glad you tuned in. We got a really fun thing to make today. It's going to fit in with the season. You know, it's turning fall right now, getting to become the spooky season, and we're going to make something in accordance to the holiday. So before we get into today's video, as always, if you'll just hit like and subscribe and hit the little notification bell, it just lets you know when we drop a new video, lets me know that you're liking what you're seeing, and just keeps me motivated to keep making this content for you. So what are we going to make today? Today's going to be a little different. It's not going to be a lot of blacksmithing. It's going to be mostly a welding project. We will use the forge for just a moment. But what we're going to make is we're going to make a spider. This is just made out of things laying around my shop. What we're going to use is I have a trailer hitch I was using for another project. I just cut the threads off of it. I got 4 round rods I had in my scrap pile. I cut them to 7 inches and a washer. That's all you're going to need to make a Halloween spider. If you don't have a welder, just follow along. Maybe you have a friend that does, and you can get them to help you with it. This is just a fun little project to make. Eventually, what I will do with this one is I will make a web for him and mount him on the web just to make a really cool Halloween decoration to put outside probably next year. But anyway, follow along with me. We'll get started here in just a moment. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do right now is I've got my my 4 pieces of round steel, which are going to be my legs. I've got them between 2 magnets just so they don't roll on me while I weld. And I went ahead and I put a center punch mark right here for center. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay a bead of weld straight down. That's just going to hold the legs together. So when we start forming them in the forge, they're not going every which way and we still have everything lined up. I do use a flux welder. I don't have the gas shielding for mine. So what I will do is before this is I will spray some anti-splatter spray here. That just keeps the little welding berries that come off of flux so they don't stick or is something else I've got to clean up. So that's going to be the first step. I'm going to move the camera over out of the range of the welder, but you can see what I'm doing as we weld. So like I said, the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my anti-spatter spray. I'm just going to spray it here on my steel. It just makes a cleaner weld. Always remember when you weld after you spray to take this can and move it off of your metal surface, because there is a chance if it was sitting on this table while you were welding, you could get an arc and have this can explode, which really wouldn't be a good thing to have happen to you. So I've got my gloves on, I've got my welding helmet on, I've got my apron on. So we're just going to turn the welder on and we're going to run a quick bead of weld right down the center. And there you have it. There is right here. Yep. And there you have it right there is just the weld we have just to get these legs together. I'm going to clean this up a little bit and then we will get to the next step. Okay, so after I got this welded, what I did was I flipped it around on the other side and I measured 3 inches in on each side and I just marked it with a Sharpie just so I knew there was 3 inches, and there's roughly an inch here. This is the portion here that's going to get welded to the spider's body. And what I've done is I put a center punch mark here and here, and a center punch mark here and here. So when I put this in the forge, I'm going to lock this in the vise, and I'm going to bend these 3 legs in 45 degrees. And then I'm going to do the same thing with here. I'm going to bend these 3 legs in at 45 degrees. These 2 legs are going to bend 90 degrees forward. That's going to be his pinchers, for lack of a better term. I don't know spider anatomy. But that's what we're going to get. And just so you can see here, this is what we're shooting for. This will be the 3 legs I just showed you. That will be here, these 3 legs. And then this leg here will be this right here. Once we do that, then we'll be able to spread the legs out, make sure they're even. We may have to do some adjustments with the flat discs, just so it's all even. And once we're done with that, we'll weld the main body onto the legs, and then we'll make the mouth. So this is where we are so far. I'm going to put this in the forge and get the camera moved over to the vise. All I'm wanting to do is just get these to bend. Didn't all want to bend at the same rate. That's okay. I'm going to get them hot again. I'm going to try this again. Make it down tighter this time. Okay. That's about 45 degrees, so we're going to do the other side next. Actually, it may just be easier just to use the tongs to bend them. That's not too bad. So here's what we have right now. I just got to bend these forward. We'll do that just the same way. We'll just lock them in and bend them. That's next. So what we're going to do is we're going to lock that front little pincher leg in, and we're just going to start bending. I have to admit, this is a little awkward to bend. There we go. So we're going to do the next leg. Lock that in. So here's what we have so far. Now we just got to put this back in and get the legs spread out a little bit more. Then we'll test fit it on the body. We may have to do some more heating and bending, but let's get it hot and we'll see where we are after we get the legs set. So all we're going to do right now is we're just going to spread these legs out just a little bit. And there's where we are. I'm going to set this on the anvil, and then we'll see how they look. So here's where we are so far. Um, just looking at this back leg has to bend down just a little bit more, and I probably want to spread them out just a little bit. So I'm going to put this back in the fire, and we're just going to do some small adjustments. So here we go. I said this leg needed to come out some more. Down just a little bit. This is kind of top heavy, so what I want to do, I want to hold him here by his little front arms and set his body on him just like he would be welded on. Okay, so yeah, I've got to spread those legs out a whole bunch more. Okay, so we're going to bring this leg out much further. And while I'm at it, I'm going to bring this leg back some more. He'll move. And then I got to bring this leg forward. So we got just a little bit more adjustment to do, just here and here. I think we'll be good. So we're just going to adjust out this front leg some. Adjust him out. And see, how does he sit now? You go get the spider body and put on there. See how we sit. Okay, got to adjust those back legs down just a little bit more. This is the stuff that this gets to be the tedious fiddly work on blacksmithing. There, that's much better. Yep, that's going to sit on there just right. About the only thing I have to do now is these front legs are a little crooked. I just got to bring this one leg up, and I want to straighten that out a little bit if I can. And I think we'll be good with the spider's legs and be able to start welding the body and then making the mouth. I'm just going to get this guy straightened up a little bit. Let's see. Okay. And there we go. There is the spider's body, or the legs. So we're done with the forge. There we go. So we're done with the forge. So now we only have a couple more steps to do. One is we're going to let this cool down for a bit. And then we're going to set the spider's body on here, and we're going to weld it on. Then the next thing we're going to do is on this washer, you can see I've marked it. We're going to cut on those marks, and then we're going to weld that onto the spider's face. That's going to be his mouth. So we're almost done. It's looking good. We're going to let this cool down for a bit, and then we'll move back to the welder. So this is cooled down. I've kind of played with this, and I think I've got it where I want to weld it. I've got the camera back just so it doesn't get any splatter or anything on it. Basically, I'm just going to put it right here. I'm going to weld it. I'm going to put a couple tacks on here, and then I'll get it welded up. So let's get this welded, and we'll be right back. Move the camera over here so you can see. Here's what we have so far. I'm rather happy with that. I'm not the world's best welder, so I'll have to do some cleanup just to get some of the welding stuff off before we paint. But the only thing we have left to do is just get the mouth cut and get it on them. Okay, so the last step is all I have to do is weld this here onto the front. I also kind of flattened it a little bit on the back while I was at the grinder. That way I've got an easier surface to adhere it to. So let's get this welded on and we'll be almost finished. All right, so after I got the mouth welded on, I went ahead and just took a wire brush and just cleaned up all the forge scale and the little welding beads that was on my spider. So right there, that's what we have. All he needs now is just a coat of black paint to finish him up. If you're artistically inclined, you could even put a little red hourglass on his back end, make it a black widow spider. But there's what we have so far. I'm going to move the camera and do some final comments, and we'll be done. All right, so I hope you enjoyed today's little project. Kind of a fun little thing for Halloween. You know, just a quick little decoration you can make just to put outdoors. The purpose of why I wanted to show you this, I know there wasn't a lot of blacksmithing in it, but just to show you what you can make with stuff lying around your house. You know, blacksmithing doesn't always have to be flat bar, round bar, steel. If it's out of a good metal, you can make something out of it. And that's why I've started this little sub-channel, Fun Things to Make. I've got another video that'll be dropping soon, showing you how to make another little animal. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Please go ahead, if you have not, hit like and subscribe. Our subscriber counts are going up. I'm happy with how many people are watching these videos. It just keeps me motivated to see people that are liking these videos and keep subscribing. So until then, happy Halloween, blacksmith safe, and I'll see you soon.